Welcome to the Hypnosis NGH podcast. This podcast series offers a fun and serious look at hypnosis and offers various ideas, discuss case studies, along with NGH educational opportunities. Hello and welcome to the Hypnosis NGH podcast. I'm Eric Damon with the National Guild of Hypnotists. Now, we've had a lot of people ask us for some insight on the presentations that we'll be doing at the 2024 NGH Solid Gold Weekend, which is happening February 24th and 25th in Las Vegas, Nevada. So with that said, I wish that you would all please welcome Director of Hypnosis Training Canada, Certified Instructor, Lifetime Achievement Award winner with the NGH, and Order of Braid recipient, Robbie Spier Miller. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, Director of Hypnosis Training Canada. Why don't you tell us about that?
All right. Well, I started working professionally as a hypnotist about 18 years ago. At first, I was just seeing clients one-on-one and helping with things like stop smoking and weight loss and stress management. And a few years in, I established a school where I was training other people how to be hypnotists. So it was in 2012. So about 13 years ago. And it's grown into a fairly large school where we have many hypnotists here who are running successful clinics. My role is to mentor them into that. And then we have many people who come and learn hypnosis for business success, parenting, personal changes, getting goals. And so we have a really strong community of hypnotists here who have trained here and who are part of our ongoing learning. And we really look at this career as the kind of vocation where you want to be learning over time. So we have a culture of participating as a regular part of our lives so that we're always learning, both from real life and from more formal learning.
Now, where are you located in Canada?
So we're just outside of Toronto in a city called Burlington, Ontario. So it's about 40 minutes west of Toronto. And Toronto is such a big city that it's there are people everywhere. We've actually experimented with having classes in downtown Toronto, and people find it easier to come here than Toronto is a pretty busy place. So I found that it works really well to have our training center here. And actually, in a couple weeks, I'm opening a permanent training facility. So we've had an office here for forever, but we've always rented rooms at hotels to do our trainings, and it's gotten to the point where it made sense to rent a facility that's purely focused on training. So it's pretty exciting. It's being renovated and furnished as we speak. So
that's great.
Yeah, our first class will be happening there starting February 2nd.
Wow.
So pretty soon. Yeah.
That's going to be exciting for you. I mean, you've done a lot of work to this point to get where you are. And
yeah, it is exciting. And, I'll tell you that what part of my passion for what I do is when I started learning hypnosis and NLP well over 20 years ago. I actually was introduced to it through my husband because I was having a stressful time at work and challenges with confidence. And he'd been learning hypnosis and NLP for a number of years. And he said, hey, maybe we should take some classes together. This could help you. And that was really my introduction to this world. And so for a number of years, I was just doing it to help myself. And I was very impressed with the results and realized I come from a family of scientists. My parents are medical doctors, so is my sister. It's a very academic family. I have a lot of higher education myself. So this was a very different approach to things. I definitely wasn't raised to do this. But I was seeing that it was really helping me. So eventually I decided I wanted to do it professionally. And some of my passion for what I do is that I found that a lot of training didn't really teach you how to make this work as a business. So I was really seeking out a way to build a solid business as a hypnotist because I couldn't be a hobbyist. I needed to make a living doing this. So I really believe that integrating the skills of helping people and helping them have success in their lives and learning how to be a successful business person have to go hand in hand. So our approach here very much does things that way.
That's great. And
Mhm.
you're obviously you're busy all the time because you're expanding.
Yes. Yeah, so we're busy all the time.
That's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad we were able to steal you away to get you to come to Las Vegas. I mean, I have to ask you a question that I mean, you brought up that parents are medical doctors.
Yes.
How do they look at hypnosis with you with what you're doing and everything?
Well, it's interesting because they were very supportive when I started. They allowed me to see some of my stop smoking clients from their office. They gave out brochures to their patients. There are still people, my parents are retired now, but up till a few years ago, my dad was still working and he'd have patients who'd come in and say, "Yeah, your daughter helped me stop smoking 10 years ago." So that did happen a lot. It's very different from their world, but I both of them have been very supportive and open to me doing it. I don't think they would do it, but they see the value. And my dad, who was a dermatologist, he said that he really believes that a lot of skin problems are caused by stress, and so he could really see the value of hypnosis and helping people. But he couldn't make like a medical claim about that. But he, from having a 50-year career as a dermatologist, he in through observation and seeing what happened over time, he really saw that. So, it's not printed in the New England Journal of Medicine. And I don't know what it's like in the US, but here in Canada, doctors feel very pressured to wait until those types of studies come out to make any claims. And I can understand from their point of view why they do that. But we all know as hypnotists that there are lots of things that are possible without needing scientific studies proving it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things we see in the US is that definitely, it can be hot or cold depending on on who you're talking to,
Yeah.
physician wise, and there are some out there that embrace it wholeheartedly that it definitely helps. There's still those barriers that we all have to work through, but I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what profession you're in. There's always a barrier from something or someone.
There is, and you know what? I've met doctors who are really open to it, and then some that are more conservative. So, yeah, it's sometimes you just have to connect with the ones that can see things this way.
Now, did you when you took your first class to become a hypnotist, was it your husband teaching or was it?
Oh, no, he's not a trainer. He was taking classes for himself and his own development. He's not a hypnotist. He works in computers, and that's where we met. I used to work in IT consulting. Yeah, so no, we took classes together. It really helped our relationship. It helped us communicate better. There were a lot of really great benefits for us. And we have two kids now. At the time, we were just dating. We didn't have children yet. But my kids are now teenagers, and it's really amazing to watch because I see how they've been eating and sleeping and breathing this way of doing things, and they don't even know it's happening. So they just take it for granted. But I know that I definitely didn't grow up that way, and it's because we've raised them that way. So it's helpful that both of us know how to do this, and I think parents are, they're the most powerful hypnotists in their child's lives. So if they know how to do that skillfully, that's really helpful.
Well, that's very true. That's very true. So do you go out and do different presentations? Obviously, you're doing Solid Gold, but all over the country or throughout the world. Obviously, you're coming over.
Yeah, well, I've spoken in a lot of places. Yeah, yeah, I do speaking all the time. I've spoken at a number of conferences. So, yes, I do a lot of speaking. Yeah.
And what would you say to somebody who's just getting started and they're looking at different ways to get their business going? I mean, what word of wisdom or wisdom would you throw on them for them to first out of the gate? I mean, obviously everyone wants to be hugely successful, but you got to take your baby steps. And what would be your advice to them?
When people are getting started, often the biggest thing that could sabotage them is not having a clear path or direction. Because think of it like getting a plane off the ground. Once the plane's in the air, it's a lot easier to keep it up there. But if you're not sure you can get the plane off the ground, you could distract yourself in a lot of ways from doing that. So I think seeking out somebody who's already done it successfully is and being willing to simply do what they tell you to do, even if it's not comfortable or different or it's a stretch, that helps a whole lot. So when we mentor people here, we make an agreement that they're willing to take action on things, even if it's new or different. I know when I started, I did a lot of things that went beyond my comfort zone, and I was willing to do it because I knew I really wanted this. But if I hadn't, I might not have shown myself what was possible. So that's a really big deal. So if you can have somebody mentoring you who's already done it and knows what works and what doesn't work, and being willing to listen to them because they have a lot more experience than you do. I think some people struggle with that because in our world, there's always another opinion, right? We have Google and everything that goes with that. But there's real value to sticking to a path and just focusing on that because otherwise we can be pulled in a lot of different directions and things can be watered down, or if something doesn't work out we can get discouraged. So if we have that person or organization there to support us, I think it makes a really really big difference for people.
And I mean, I would think that even seasoned uh, hypnotists, going to these conferences, the convention that we have in August or Solid Gold, is a good way to keep building that confidence in what they're doing and learning new things, or maybe just reinforcing something that they've already learned.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that's why it's great when we have folks like you who are willing to share some knowledge on what you've been through and what you've experienced, and I think those are important for people to constantly learn because if you stop, then you probably get stale a little bit. I would think.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you need to, part of what makes this career interesting is there's always something more to learn, or we can always improve in various directions, or people are all over the place. So you're always, the more people you work with, the more you discover about human nature and human behavior. So it doesn't get boring, that's for sure. Um, so if we embrace that and we like enjoy that journey of continual learning, then we can be the best we can for clients. And I myself, this has changed me in so many important ways that I really, I feel so strongly about sharing this with other people and training people to a level where they can help other people as much as possible. That's really what drives me in terms of what I do, that's my sense of purpose and mission about this. And part of that is doing it in a way where you can make a good enough income that you have the resources to help people. So it all goes hand in hand.
All right. Now, before I ask you about your solid gold presentation, we're gonna step away from hypnosis for a moment because you're in Canada. So, exactly what does Robbie Spier Miller do that has nothing to do with hypnosis? Do you ski up in Canada? What's the big
I do ski,
yeah?
yeah, I go skiing with my kids, we're gonna go in a few weeks. We were supposed to go at Christmas, but sadly there wasn't enough snow, so hopefully in February there will be.
That makes
Um,
no sense for Canada. You guys should have snow all the time.
yeah. Yeah, I have a very strong social circle, and I do a lot of just interesting activities with different people. I'd say that's mostly what I do, for fun and hang out with my family, and I enjoy watching my kids grow up and all the different phases of that. I'm a foodie, so I love, really good food, and I'm lucky enough to have a husband who cooks me a lot of really good food, so so that's great. I love nature, so being in beautiful nature is awesome. I definitely love doing physical activities, like working out or going for a hike, skiing. So, yeah, it's varied.
Skiing for me just doesn't work. I just can't stand up on the skis. I mean,
Oh.
where we are, we have plenty of ski areas, but
I think it helps if you learn when you're a kid, because then you don't have as far to fall.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Solid Gold Weekend is going on February 24th and 25th in Las Vegas, Nevada, and you're going to be presenting on Sunday. Uh,
Mhm.
can you tell everyone a little bit about the presentation that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so we're going to be exploring the importance of gathering client testimonials and how to go about doing that, what kind of mood you need to be in to do that effectively as a hypnotist, and how to use those in a way that helps your business grow and helps you help other people as much as possible. So I'm going to be covering the range of things that allow somebody to do that effectively. And that the way we build our businesses, testimonials, whether it's word of mouth or a Google review or a video or whatever it is, that is a very foundational part of why people believe they can be successful with us. So we collect a lot of testimonials, and then they inspire the next clients in terms of what's possible. It shows them what's possible, and then they're more likely to agree to do it and follow through, and then they inspire the next person. So that's a really important cornerstone of what we do here.
Yeah, in your presentation, are you going to talk about um, how you get clients excited about giving you a testimonial, or maybe you can entice them to do it? Whatever you have to.
Well, it's all embedded in an overall approach. So we have a whole relationship that we build with clients, and our relationship is based on helping them get the results they came for. And when they get the results they came for, they're happy, and most of them are thrilled to give us a testimonial, and they're thrilled to inspire others to do what they did. So it's not happening in a vacuum. It's integrated into everything we do. So I'm going to share how that works, and my hope is to inspire others to practice this way. My belief is that sharing people's success is the most ethical way to practice, because uh, then it inspires other people so that we're passing it along. And if we keep it a secret and nobody knows, then there are many people out there who wouldn't get this help. So it's a very important part of our world. And also, when people see somebody else doing what they want to do, then they can learn how to do what they're doing, so they can model what the other person is doing, which is also an important part of what we do.
The testimonials, I mean, they really matter for hypnosis businesses. Yeah.
They do. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And these days more than ever with Google and everything. But even before that, from the dawn of time, people decided what to do based on stories other people told them, watching somebody else doing something that they want to learn how to do, right? We learn by being inspired by others. So I think realistically, that's just how humans function. So we're helping people make the most of that ability that we have.
So you think that, I mean, basically with your presentation, you're going to help people, other hypnotists, understand the importance of getting these, and how to work with the client to make sure it's a positive one. Is that
Yeah, and help them to have the confidence to frame things this way and to ask for it, right? So, is it possible that some people at the presentation will need more training to help people get the kind of results that they need to give a great testimonial? Maybe. And if that's the outcome, it's good to realize that so you can go get the training you need. Right I'm sure there will be lots of people there who are already getting great results, but maybe nobody knows, or maybe they're shy about asking for a testimonial, and they're in their own way in terms of marketing and advertising. So I'm sure there'll be a mix of people in the room, but regardless, it will, wherever the person's at, it'll help them realize what they need to do next to be further down the path of building their business based on testimonials.
I think this is an important subject for people to talk about, to learn, because you're right. I think you find that there's some shyness, or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
um, hypnotists in this case, or asking for a testimonial just because they don't know, or they're not sure how to go about it, or something like that. So insights
Yeah.
like that, I think, are very important for people to learn, and your class presentation is definitely going to help them do that.
Yeah, often people are stuck in believing that they're asking the client for a favor, and that's not at all useful, right? Because what it really is if the client documents their success, then they can stand back from it and see, "Oh, wow, look what I accomplished." Because sometimes when we're successful, we just start to take it for granted. We just figure, "Oh, it's always been this way," and we have amnesia for when we had a problem. Right? So it helps them appreciate it. It helps them be inspired to challenge themselves in a new way and get at their next goal. And then it also helps them show other people. And none of that has anything to do with the hypnotist. So a lot of the ways hypnotists sabotage themselves is getting overly focused on themselves or how other people look at them instead of what are they doing for people.
Well, that's true because the testimonials you can use for several different things, as you were saying, just to reinforce it, I guess, is not just to look at what you're doing, where you can potentially expand on, just getting that feedback, and obviously testimonials that you can use to attract new clients.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great.
I know I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. I know that I have a number of students who are going to be joining us at Solid Gold, so I'm excited for them to experience the wider world of hypnosis and the NGH and meet everybody. And when you're there, for people who are curious about how we approach this, the students who are there will be happy to share with you their experiences. So they're going to be testimonials for the other hypnotists at the convention to show them what's possible. So I'm bringing some with me.
That's great. That's a good way to do it. Well, we look forward to seeing you there, and we're very excited that you're presenting at this year's Solid Gold weekend. And it's a weekend, so everyone should come in and definitely be part of it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, yeah, and Vegas is a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to being there again.
So join Robbie Spier Miller along with Don Motton, Cal Banyan, Roberto Fernandez, Tom Nicoli, and Sean Michael Andrews at the 23rd Annual Solid Gold Weekend happening in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's going to be February 24th and 25th. You can sign up online at www.ngh.net. And we want to thank you for joining us today and giving some insight into what you'll be presenting. And we can't wait to see you in Vegas.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Hypnosis NGH podcast. You're welcome to share your ideas for future podcasts by emailing us, nghpodcast@ngh.net.